It's October 19, Tuesday. Good evening, I'm Chester Connell. This is your IKTV News Update. The details just ahead. Lecturer at the community college, Joanne Marshall, has been examining the impact which advances such as the internet and other forms of technology are having on the faith and spirituality of persons. Marshall discussed the issue as she presented the sixth in a series of lectures organized by the Girls High School as part of the school's centenary celebrations. Speaking on the topic, Challenges to Faith and Spirituality in a High-Tech World, Marshall says studies show that people who are more exposed to technological advances are exposed to a wide range of viewpoints, some of which challenge faith and spirituality. Marshall also opined that the internet and other forms of technology are often used to portray faith and spirituality in a negative light. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, in a recent press conference, stated that St. Vincent and the Grenadines was exploring the possibility of candidacy in the recently held elections of the Security Council on the basis of being supported by CARICOM.
Elections for the Security Council took place. As you are aware, St. Vincent and the Grenadines was exploring the possibility of being a candidate, and we were proceeding on the basis that we would get 100% support from CARICOM.
This, however, did not come to fruition as CARICOM had already pledged its support to Colombia. But he says he looks forward to St. Vincent and the Grenadines contesting in the 2019 elections of the Council. Prime Minister Gonsalves also stated that the CARICOM Development Fund will be aiding in the provision of materials for the construction of the international airport.
We are dealing with these matters in a very coherent way. You may recall just a few weeks ago, our application to the CARICOM Development Fund for monies, which is a fund established under the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas. That I said to you that we have received close to $4.5 million US in grants and loans. And I outlined to you that these monies specifically were for principally the purchase of a stone crusher, the crushing plant, to provide the material for the base for the runway, and also for the question of the lights for the runway.
The Pineapple Growers Cooperative Society, PINCO, says it is using pineapple farming as a means of improving the social, economic and physical well-being of Vincentians. President of PINCO, Norgie Tucker, speaking at the 2010 annual Agri-Business Conference, says the group aims at educating the public of the health benefits of pineapples. Tucker encouraged farmers who are registered with the Ministry of Agriculture to become a part of PINCO in an effort to build the institution's capacity. She says that interested farmers must have in cultivation a minimum of 500 or more pineapples to become a member of the organization. However, a farmer who does not yet have 500 pineapple plants can solicit the assistance of PINCO to become a member of the organization. The Grand Princess cruised quietly into Port Kingstown this morning, becoming the first cruise ship to call on St. Vincent and the Grenadines for the 2010-2011 season. 55 cruise ships are expected to bring thousands of visitors over the next 7 months to Kingstown, and 76, that's 21 more cruise ships, are scheduled to visit the Grenadines over the same period. 55% of visitors to St. Vincent and the Grenadines arrive via cruise ship. The next cruise ship, the Silver Whisper, will glide into Bequia on Saturday. This country's chief engineer Brent Bailey is assuring road users in the neighborhood of Rathamil that work is proceeding according to plan, with construction of what is popularly known as Jack's Wall. Recent heavy rains had caused a change of pace, but the state's chief engineer points out that the rains did not cause any collapse of the old wall or the new wall being built. He says a planned demolition of the old wall is now in progress.
From tomorrow, Wednesday, there will be intermittent interruptions of traffic to allow them to pick up the dirt, pick up all the stone material that they will be excavating when they're demolishing the wall, and load it onto trucks. So from time to time there will be police on site. There will be police on site for the duration until we're finished. And between 10 to 2 o'clock during the week, there will be trucks loading and the soil material and all the other debris that comes out from the demolition activities. Right? So that will go on, I am thinking, for the next 2 weeks. We hope to be completed by the 5th of November.
The original wall collapsed 2 years ago, causing the death of one person. The chief engineer, in response to an IKTV news question, explained why the wall collapsed 2 years ago.
It's a supporting wall, yes, that did not support. There are about 3 different issues why this particular wall failed. One, it was not structurally stable, and it did not have a sufficient size to support the height that it had. So combination of factors, water and the weight of the soil behind it, gave rise to a lateral force which basically blew the wall out. It collapsed, and it collapsed over.
The chief engineer says the original wall was built without government's approval, and he explains to IKTV News how that could have been possible.
That happens very often, I'm afraid. We have to bear in mind, in a small society as ours, the various government ministries and government departments, although the government is the largest employer, we still don't have enough people to supervise every private construction, even though it's, walking along, even though it's right along our public road.
Mr. Bailey is urging all motorists in the area to exercise patience or use alternate routes through Harmony Hall, exiting at Kaliakwa back onto the main road. Certificates were presented here today to students who were successful in the Royal School of Music exams. The students received their certificates at the annual presentation ceremony, which was hosted by the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Music Association. Chairperson of the association, Beryl Richards, says over 100 students were presented with certificates at the event, which was held at the Peace Memorial Hall. There were also performances from students who excelled in their exams, as well as some guest artists. The annual survey, which is carried out by the Animal Health and Production Division in the Ministry of Agriculture to verify the presence of the tropical bont tick, got underway yesterday. The survey has been held here for the past 10 years. Chief Veterinary Officer Dr. Kathy Ann Hackshaw says the survey will run for approximately 2 months, during which time a team of officers will visit the agricultural communities to scratch for the tick. All animals, including cattle, sheep and goats, will be physically examined for the presence or signs of the damage caused by the tick. These include a skin disease known as dermatophthiosis, which in milder cases shows a chronic bumpiness of the skin. In the region, 42-year-old Mia Motley was removed as leader of the opposition Barbados Labour Party, the BLP, the Bees, on Monday, and has been replaced by former Prime Minister Owen Arthur, who was succeeded 2 years ago by Motley. BLP Chairman George Payne told reporters that the majority of the opposition parliamentarians had no confidence in Motley. He says a letter has since been sent to the Governor-General and that Owen Seymour Arthur is the person they support as the leader of the opposition, and in those circumstances they're calling on him to revoke the appointment of Miss Motley and to appoint Owen Arthur opposition leader. The meeting at which the incumbent was replaced was held at the party's headquarters, but Motley and 2 other legislators were not present. 6 people were killed and 10 others injured when at least 3 militants stormed parliament in the restive Russian Republic of Chechnya, shouting Islamist slogans. They launched a bomb and gun attack as deputies arrived for work. and 2 guards and an official were killed. All of the attackers were killed, according to Ramzan Kadyrov, Chechny's Kremlin-backed president. Deputies inside the building managed to escape by moving to an upper floor. The attack was condemned by the EU Foreign Policy Chief Baroness Ashton, who was quoted by AFP news agency as saying no circumstances can justify the use of terrorist violence and suicide attacks. Stay with us. We've got Al Archer with the weather next.
And good evening. We take a look now late today at our satellite photos, which are still indicating a non-tropical storm system weak, but yet over the northeastern Caribbean to our northwest. It has been spinning around, partly cloudy, occasionally cloudy skies. Most of the cloud cover, of course, was this morning with some showers in the area, and then during the course of the day, that moisture has been trickling on out towards the east and northeast away from us, impacting mainly areas up towards Barbados and even on up towards Montserrat to our northeast. In the meantime, latest forecast models are suggesting that this little low-pressure storm system aloft over the northeastern Caribbean is going to track west to northwestward over Puerto Rico by dawn tomorrow, then into Hispaniola by Thursday, eventually dissipates by Friday in the vicinity of Jamaica. There's also the low-pressure storm system in the western Caribbean just east of the Nicaragua and Honduras border. Forecast models meander it around there through Thursday. Friday pulls it back across Nicaragua into Central America, and over the weekend emerges into the eastern Pacific. At that time, it may strengthen. For us, well, our forecast here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, it's partly cloudy to cloudy tonight, a 30% chance for showers, a low at 76 Fahrenheit, 24 Celsius. Yet for tomorrow, through the weekend and beyond to next week, high-pressure system over the northeastern Atlantic in combination with lower pressures over South America to our south will help provide partly cloudy and a 30% anytime day or night shower from the east. The highs every day will be back at around 88 Fahrenheit, 31 Celsius. The lows at night, 78 Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius. And check out our marine forecast is calling for winds through tomorrow night to be out of the northeast at 15 knots, seas 1.5 to just over 2 meters. Thursday through Sunday, winds from northeast to east 10 to 15 knot seas at just over 1 to 2 meters. Let's take a look at tides here in Kingstown. First of all, we're starting out for tonight with a low at 8:51, a high in the morning at 3:34, a low tomorrow morning at 11:31, then a high tomorrow afternoon at 3:50. I'm meteorologist Alan Archer. Hey, lots of sunshine. More sunshine tomorrow than today. Here on IKTV, it's all about you.
Stay with us. Sports is just ahead.